It's the morning of March 5th. Auburn women's basketball picks up a thrilling win in the SEC tournament. Let's take a look at it. Well. Here I thought the only thing on the schedule today would be Auburn's women's tennis match at Ole Miss. Lo and behold, Auburn women's basketball picks up a win. You gotta love it for the kids. A win against Texas A&M in the first round of the SEC tournament. That's a 15 seed topping a 10 seed, and that's winning a rematch against a team that Auburn lost to by like 20 in the regular season. Again, how did it happen, man? What have we been saying here? It's these stretches of fantastic defensive play. An 11-point first quarter for Texas A&M, and then a 10-point second quarter. And like, if you do that, really every quarter was neck and neck. But if you do that, you get a chance. And I put it on Twitter, like, hey man, you finish the season with really 4 SEC wins, three regular season SEC wins, and then a fourth in the tournament. But you are showing proof of concept, right? You are showing some proof of concept in that this could be, if Larry Vickers has his way, this could be a lockdown defensive kind of game or kind of team. If he can build it out the right way and excel. And you look at the landscape of the league, and you look at women's basketball, it's like this always could have worked because it used to be Tennessee and now it's South Carolina and LSU. But, if you and Texas. But if you can build a roster of incredible defensive players, that would be your chance to potentially upset. If Auburn, let's be real about Auburn's investment, be real about who Auburn is, Auburn's relationship with women's basketball right now. If Auburn isn't going to give any rev share to women's basketball, and if LSU, South Carolina, and Texas are doing that, if Auburn isn't selling out Neville Arena, or so there are fans waiting for championships to be won before they go to games, if that's the case, that's what you're going to have to do, right? You're not going to attract the WNBA players that these other schools have. You're going to have to attract a bunch of psychos. You're going to have to attract a bunch of, just hard-nosed defensive team-first people who are going to want to play, akin to the 40 minutes of hell. Not that that's the style, but to play this defensive game that will just tear them up and create something that is more effective as a whole. The whole is more effective than the sum of its parts would be effective, or however you can spin that thing. Caitlin Duhon, 38 minutes. 38 and a half minutes. She sat for 90 seconds. However long we've been talking, that's the break she got in this game. And scored 14 points. Lee had 11, and Koulibaly had 11. They both played around about 35 minutes. So there's your core group that got this thing done. Like I said, neck and neck every quarter. Auburn won, by the way. Sorry, 50-49. Audio listeners. There was a last second here. We'll pull up the last few little minutes, or few last 2 possessions. Really, I saw a video of it. Auburn won the first quarter 12-11. Won the second quarter 11-10. Third quarter was tied 15-15. These are like boxing rounds, right? And in the fourth quarter, Texas A&M won at 13-12. But hey, man, they won one quarter by 1 point. Auburn won two quarters by 1 point. 50-49 is your final score. Man, just a win that, a win that the team can just ride into the offseason. I will say, I don't know if I spoke too soon about it being the offseason. We'll talk about that in a second. But let me see if I can get this clip. I saw a clip. Here we go. So the last couple of possessions here. Here, let me just turn down the audio. So this is 48-49, 9 seconds left. The drive, right hand. Laid it off the glass. Oh, yeah, and then there's the A&M's last chance. With 5.2 seconds left, Auburn goes up 50-49. And A&M didn't get a good shot off. So, I mean, what a way to do it. And they're fired up. So, big time stuff for Auburn women's basketball. I'll say, like I said, I was thinking, the offseason was knocking. But, I admittedly, I should send a text, but I'm admittedly not as up to speed about the WNIT because there's two of them now. WNIT, and then the NCAA has its own WNIT. So that's 32 and 32. So it's 64 more teams in addition to the 68 that are going to the NCAA tournament. And, in a lot of these, they're trying to just find women's programs that are willing to host games and pay to travel and foot the bill. And oftentimes Auburn is that. I did see that for the WNIT, you would need a 500 record, but then exceptions are made. So Auburn is still a game short of 500. So they meet the qualifications if they beat Ole Miss, who they play in the next round today. Sorry, I'm doing a bad job of saying. Today they play 5 p.m. SEC Network. Number 24 Ole Miss, another team that they lost to in the regular season. This one by like 25, 71-45. Oh man, that was that crazy rescheduled game that went to Birmingham. But hey, Coach Yo's got a good roster. I think this one would, again, I said it last time, but this one really would be really hard for Auburn to win. You would anticipate their run-ins here today. I don't know if they'll get to the WBIT, but I don't know if a lot of times it comes down to the coach. If Larry goes to the athletic department and is like, we want to play in the WNIT, we're going to file a waiver, give me the money to play in the WNIT, right? We need more reps. We need more games. It could happen. It's happened before with Auburn. Auburn especially, and I don't know if Larry's different than previous coaches. But Auburn's been one of those schools that's like, yeah, no, we'll play. So anyway. Women's tennis today. I think it's at 4. That's your number 5 ranked Auburn women's tennis, or number 1 ranked in the UTR, depending. ITA number 5, UTR number 1. They play at 4 p.m. There will be live video online. Check out I'll have a direct link to this in the email that the podcast goes out with, and also just the post on auburntorch.com. Ole Miss is maybe like the 10th best ranked team in the SEC. Yeah, Control F, old. Sorry. They're number 30 nationally. So we'll see. But that's kind of the warm-up for Auburn. They can't treat it like a warm-up, but it kind of is because they have a top 5 match on Saturday against LSU. So that'll be a big one. One other note the new. I tried to look at the golf rank. Excuse me. I tried to look at the golf rankings yesterday. They weren't out yet, but they're out now. It's the same. The men are still number 2 behind Virginia, which would track because Virginia won the head-to-head this past weekend. They got another head-to-head coming up, which is pretty exciting. And then on the women's side, Auburn is still number 5 after. No, probably not that we're showing they won it at the Darius Rucker, but hey, that's golf. It happens. Let's see what happens next time. Hey, let's call it there. That's all I got. Women's basketball, women's tennis at 4, women's basketball at 5, both against Ole Miss. It's another double Ole Miss. It's another double day. And women's basketball will be on SEC Network, and tennis it is on a live stream. So check it out. If you haven't checked it out, pull it up. It's just like some of these cameras that are getting better and better. I think. I wonder what the sport will be like as a spectator sport in 20 years when the cameras are like even better and cheaper. But you can see a lot. You can. It's not like the pro tournaments where there's replays and different things, but you can see footballs in or out a lot of times. Anyway, all right, let me get out of here. Appreciate you guys. We've got more coming down the pipe at auburntorch.com. So stay tuned, and we will see you soon. Take care.